commercial, scholastic, and research purposes only. We admit that some of the content or the images provided in this channel's video may be obtained through the routine Google image searches, and few of them may be under copyright protection. Such usage is completely inadvertent. It is quite possible that we overlook to give full scholarly credit to the copyright owners. We believe that the non-commercial only for educational use of the material may allow the video in question fall under fair use of such content. However, we honor the copyright holders' rights and the videos will be deleted from our channel in case of any such claim received by us or reported to us. Yeah, so we need to start with margins. I'm sharing the slides. I'm expecting that someone will speak something and make me remind of something.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, very good morning, Viraj.
Sir, actually, we are going to present case study today.
Oh, very good, very good. I appreciate Viraj. Uh,
Yes, sir.
yeah, otherwise, generally, I found that no one will speak about that and they allow the professors to continue in their own. But it's good that you guys have make me remind for the same.
Yes, sir.
I was aware about that, and the Charmian, her group is going to present, right?
Yes, sir. Me, Charmi, Ishita, and Kajal.
Okay, very good. So I hope you have already shared your case studies with your classmates.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do one thing. I'm, uh, Let me stop the screen share. You share that entire case for 5 to 10 minutes. So again, one can read on this platform. You share it.
Okay, sir. Is it visible, sir?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning to everyone. We are going to present a case study on Bombay dyeing. So this case study was actually published in a well-renowned newspaper where Nusli Wadia explains how he lost to Ambani in polyester war.
Kajal,
Yes?
Kajal, you please allow others to read it out for 5-10 minutes, and
Okay.
after 5-10 minutes, we'll continue with that. So, class, you read the entire case study and be ready with your questions, arguments, and discussion. It is compulsory for all to participate. No doubt, this group is going to present, discuss, and all those things, but later on, it will be an open discussion forum for all of us. So we do have 10 minutes to read out this entire case. I hope you have already gone through with this, but again, for the better insight, you please read it carefully. And
Sir,
mark,
sir, sorry to interrupt in between, sir. Sir,
yes, Viraj.
sir. So we have to do is first our class will read whole case study which we have
O-
prepared. First,
Okay.
we four will present in the form we have divided, and then group discussion will be there, right?
Yes, right.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Can we start explaining?
Allow 5 to 10 minutes so others can read your case. And after 5 to 10 minutes, let's say at 11:15, you continue with your discussion and presentation. So allow them 5 to 10 minutes. Start. Scroll it down, Kajal. I hope everybody is reading this and later on we will discuss the same. It's not only responsibility of those participants, it's collective responsibility to discuss. Yes, I hope now everybody has done with that. So you may continue.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please continue.
So, in this case study, Nusli Wadia is explaining how he lost to Dhirubhai Ambani in polyester war. In an interview with well-renowned newspaper Business Standard, Nusli Wadia, the boss of Bombay Dyeing Group, loser of one of the earliest corporate wars that were decided on the base not on the basis of market competitiveness but on crony influences. So here Nusli Wadia is trying to accuse Dhirubhai Ambani that he lost the corporate war not because of market competitiveness but because of corny influences that Dhirubhai Ambani had created on bureaucrats and politicians. The Bombay Dyeing and Manufacturing Company Limited, established on 23rd August 1879, is a flagship company of Wadia Group, engaged primarily in the business of real estate development, polyester, staple fiber, and retail. In this in its real estate development business, the company enjoys the benefits of two large contiguous contiguous land parcels with clear titles, giving it significant advantage over the other real estate players. So we can see that Bombay Dyeing and Manufacturing Company Limited was primarily working in the sector of real estate development, polyester staple fiber, and retail, and it had an edge over the other real estate players because it had contiguous land parcels with clear titles. The two sites are strategically located and well connected with the commercial hub of central Mumbai and equidistant from the commercial hubs of South Mumbai and Bandra Kurla complex. So, South Mumbai and Bandra Kurla complex are two of the most hotspots of, of Mumbai. So the central Mumbai is commercial hub was equidistant from both the two hotspots, and it clearly gave an advantage to Wadia Group. Referring to his battle with the late Dhirubhai Ambani over polyester in 1970s and 1980s, Wadia said his group was currently smaller than it could have been because it did not play the policy manipulation game. So Wadia here is trying to say that Dhirubhai Ambani tried to cornily influence bureaucrats and tried to manipulate the policies of polyester import duties. In an indirect reference to Ambani, he said, to some extent, yes, I did miss the bus, but that's because I chose not to manipulate the system. I want to live by a set of values that is an integral to anything that we do. Wadia wanted to be a part of this market, but with a certain set of values that he wanted to live by. He did not choose to manipulate the system. Bombay Dyeing is one of the textile kings in the pre Ambani era, and the battle with Ambani began when both looked at the sunrise industry of polyester for growth. That's where the conflict erupted into covert and even overt warfare. So Bombay Dyeing was one of the textile kings in the pre-Ambani era, and both Dhirubhai Ambani and Wadia wanted to grow their companies in the polyester, and that's when the actual warfare of the companies started out. Ambani is widely believed to have posed up to politicians and bureaucrats in Delhi to tweak customs and import duties to his advantage. Wadia said, as much as Business Standard, all the policies related to polyester and the polyester chain during the 80s were manipulated. You had to manage the system for all the licenses. So he is his clear allegations on Dhirubhai Ambani were that he had manipulated the system and he had all the bureaucrats and politicians in his pockets. So he bent certain rules as his advantage and manipulated all the system to get all the license that he himself wanted. Wadia had one specific instance to cite. He said that when he had imported machinery for his plant, it was left to rot in the docks since the import license was not given to him. Since Dhirubhai Ambani had manipulated the policies with the help of bureaucrats and politicians, Wadia was not given license to get the machinery for his plant, and as a result, the machinery of his plant was left to rot on the docks. To be sure, the war was fought on many fronts. Ambani fought not only Wadia but also the rival polyester makers like Orki. So Ambani were not only having a corporate war with Wadia, but they were also in a war with Orki, which is another polyester maker in the polyester industry. Next thing will be presented by Ishita.
Yes.
The war was also fought in the media, with the Indian Express leading a campaign against Ambani. The latter saw this as being the result of Wadia's influence with press baron Ramnath Goenka. The series of exposes against Reliance were done with the help of S. Gurumurthy and iconic journalist Arun Shuri. Then Vadya started fighting with Ambani. The war was also fought in the media with Indian Express, and Vadya started to influence the Ambani with press baron Ramnath Goenka. Wadia lost the war not only due to Ambani's clout but also making some not so great choices with the polyester intermediaries. For example, he chose to produce dimethyl terep- terephthalate when Ambani chose purified terephthalate acid. In retrospect, PTA turned out to be more efficient intermediate than DMT in the manufacture of polyester. Uh, Vadia lost the war with Ambani not only due to his clout, but for making some not good choices that Vadia wanted to produce dimethyl terephthalate, and Ambani was producing purified terephthalic acid, which later turned out to be the efficient one. Moreover, the real battle that Ambani won was not just in the policy making area but in the capital markets. His vision of achieving goals global scale was a winner, and efficient project management gave him cost advantages that were unrelated to political influence alone. Ambani was not good with. Ambani didn't just won the war just because of his policy making area, but he was also an expert in capital markets because his vision of achieving global scale was a winner, and he also had a cost efficient cost advantage in managing a project efficiently. In those days, the biggest cost for any industrialist was high interest rates. Indian banks and project financial institutions, IDBI, ICICI, etc., were charging extortionate uh, interest rates at which no project would be viable without manipulating the system. Like Ambani was manipulating the system, and during those days, the industrialists were charged high interest rates. The Indian banks and all were charging extortionate in high interest rates, at which others would not have. Others projects would not have been viable, but Ambani's did, as he has a cost, as he was efficient in project management with cost advantage. Ambani took a different route to cut his capital costs. He seeded the equity cult and converted his huge debts at high premiums into equity. His effective cost of capital thus came to match the cost of comparative projects abroad. Then Ambani took a different route. He converted all his huge debts into equity by at high premiums into equity. Um, his effective cost of capital then became the cost of comparative projects in abroad. And thanks to his equity raising abilities, his projects always were set up at the lowest cost. An interesting contrast with Vadya is Ratan Tata, who too professed the same values of not wanting to grow by manipulating the system, but managed to salvage the 1990s and first decade of 21st century with turbocharged growth. Like Vadya, Ratan Tata also believed not to manipulate the system. Luckily for Tata, he was not in direct competition with Ambani in any of the latter's focus area. Wadia points this out in his interview that Mr. Tata was not in the sectors I was in during the 80s. The sectors I was in were unfortunate for me. As Ratan Tata was not in direct competition with uh, Ambani, he was not in Latter's focus area. Vadia, in one of his interviews, said that Mr. Tata was not in the sectors that he was, and that sector was unfortunate for him. It would be unfair to dub Vadia's views as a loser's rant, for history is now moving in his directions towards greater transparency and clean competition. He has proved his worth by fighting in the low margin businesses of aviation and managing to hold his own against both Indigo and Jet, even as Kingfisher went down. Later, Wadia proved his worth by fighting in the low margin business of aviations, and he managed to stand against both Indigo and Jet, but and even Kingfisher went down. Later part will be explained by Charmi.
Yes. In 2010, Reliance Industries acquired Bombay Dyeing Polyester Unit for somewhere around 300 crores. In this, Economic Times has reported on July 10 that Reliance is competing with Indorama and JBF Industries for buying the loss-making plant of Bombay Dyeing, and for which the investment banker of Bombay Dyeing quoted this, that it will help in reducing the debt burden on their books. An email inquiry was also sent to Reliance Industries about the competing with Indorama and JBF Industries, for which they did not wish to comment. And whereas the email also was sent for Durgesh Mehta, that is the joint MD of Bombay Dyeing, they also did not answer on anything about this return on Economic Times. The Vadias are said to have taken the step in order to focus on their real estate business and distinct shift from selling textiles and petrochemicals, where the company had been losing ground. Like after fighting with this, they have started focusing more about their textiles and petrochemical business, as they were losing the basic playing in that sectors. Although petrochemicals and textile contributes about two-thirds of Bombay dyeing revenues, they lost more than 100 crores in fiscal 2010 when this acquiring was going on. The real estate division made up pre-tax profit of 346.5 crore for industry heavyweight Reliance. The move will help it straddle the sector, and it expected to boost its capacity above 9 lakh tons per annum. Like after having this inquiring the Bombay dyeing polyester unit, the Reliance was expected to move and boost its capacity above 9 lakh tons per annum. Analysts tracking Bombay dyeing are of the view that much of the company's problem started when it choosing dimethyl terephthalate DMT to make polyester, which is said to be more expensive route to take, whereas Reliance Industry on their part preferred purified telepathic acid. In this, the duties on these goods were dynamic during the 1980s, which some say favored Reliance, whereas like among them, the Bombay Dyeing and Reliance was using this purified telephthic acid, on which the duties are also less, and they were good in using terms of that. Whereas the whereas this Reliance Industry used was actually expensive route as well. Bombay Dyeing and Manufacturing, born as the Spring Mills in 1903, will seek shareholders' nod to sell the plant that can produce 1,65,000 ton a year. The Ambani family, which entered the business world with polyester, had also its shared trouble with the two brothers, that is Mukesh and Anil Ambani, splitting in 2005, with the elder of the two, Mukesh, inheriting the polyester property. Further will be explained by Viraj.
Good afternoon to all present here. As we have seen conflicts between Wadia and Ambani, which in the business industries were two tycoons were fighting with each other. Now moving to that, we are seeing the Wadia versus Tata, which friends to foes, but the journey was so much pathetic, but they have converted into that manner that they have managed somehow to reduce their conflicts and settle by their own. Bombay Dyeing Chairman Nusli Wadia in Supreme Court withdrew all defamation cases, all false cases, including 3,000 crore suit for damages against Ratan Tata. On the advice of Chief Justice of India, two of country's most famous businessmen have decided to settle the dispute and sort out matters on their own. As we have seen that the conflicts between the Ambani and Wadia were not settling out by their own, and this will be the against case regarding that. Nusli Wadia, who presides over a biscuit to aviation empire, has withdrawn a criminal defamation suit against Tata Sons and its board members and executive, including Ratan Tata. In doing so, he forgoes a potential 3,000 crore that he had showed in reputational damages. As we have seen earlier also that Wadia is believe in all types of values and integrated ethical values that had been inculcated in business. So he also forgets that 3,000 crore loss which is being done with reputational damages. The case dates back to 2016. In his suit, Wadia has alleged that he was fired from the old boards of directors, including three Tata Group of companies for backing Cyrus Mistry, who was ousted at Tata Sons executive chairman in October that year. Cyrus Mistry was Cyrus Mistry was in the board of directors of Tata Group of companies from 2012 to 16, resulting in much acrimony between the anti and pro Mistry camps. Wadia had reputation of a corporate samurai, having fought several high-profile legal battles, and few expected him to walk away from the Tata Group quietly. Not after Mistry was accused of poor performance, but a charge that he presumably felt would reflect on him too. Yet a cooling off seems in the air. It clearly states that Mistry shall not return to the Tata Group in any leadership role because of the conflicts which have occurred earlier with the Wadia. nor does he want to, as he stated in some of the statements which were published. Corporate observers do have opinions on whether mystery ouster was justified or not, but it would not be fair to say that Wadia's image did not get sullied in the whole fracas. This was on account of his independent structure as a business leader. All considered, it is a good sign that Wadia had decided not to pursue the case further and to dismiss and to have the conflicts by settle on their own. So this was the actual last case of Wadia versus Tata, where they have solved all the matters by their own, and also they have decided to not take case further, and by having a good relationship terms with each other. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so that's all from your side. Your group has done with this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So okay. Now the next question is, what's the overall contribution from every group member?
Sir, word file was.
Yeah, tell me.
Hello?
Yeah, tell me.
Hello? Yeah. So the word file was made by Kajal,
Okay.
and rest submit a case was found by me and Viraj.
Okay.
As Ishita was in some family function, so she has contributed since last 2 days, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, the content is nice overall, and the case study is also nice because the one thing that I have observed in last 30 years, yeah, since last 30 years, the Reliance industries are overruling many small industries, or you can say the medium industries. Nowadays, Reliance is a mighty player. So, have you ever feel that is Reliance Industries are trying to dominate the economy or anything like that? Have you ever feel that?
Yes, sir. As we have also seen that Reliance has taken over through many sectors. Actually, they are trying to build their own monopoly in different sectors, and behind of that, there are many such battles in many such case studies which are available, which clearly states that they are into many defamation cases, and they have strong criteria and power amongst the different sectors of every industry.
They are rigorously expanding their powers. Even some issues were there with the Tata, but somehow it was not highlighted publicly. But at some of the time, at some of the point, Tata Sons has also, said such statements in against of Reliance that we don't believe in profit making and something like that. We are
Yes,
the
sir.
yeah. So, what are your views, classmates, other than this group? What's your view? आप क्या इसमें सोच रहे हो? आपके पॉइंट्स क्या है यहाँ पे? Yes, class. You can also share your views, thoughts, whatever the things that you have experienced in last 20 to 30 minutes, Bombay dyeing and all. Vimal is also there, shooting and shirtings. Yeah, so what's your view? That's what I'm asking. You please represent your view. You share your thoughts that why such incident happens. Does only Reliance is responsible for that, or any other industries are also indulge in such practices? I think now you guys don't want to stretch it out because of time limitations. Smart guys, huh? Must appreciate. Anyway, the last question to the group: do you feel that is there any active role of government in the expansion of Reliance Industries, like like anything? Do you think that is there any active role of government?
Yes, sir. Politically, if we see, Reliance has been a great support to the political parties as well. So, if you see, government has really played a great role in expanding the Reliance industries. Like they have been there in their all sectors. Earlier, it was they took over the telephone industries like anything, and right now, hello.
Yeah, tell
Sorry,
me.
sir, little network error. So and right now also, if we see, they are acquiring industries of different sectors, and definitely government plays a great role in it, as they also know how powerful the Reliance industry is, and we all know how political parties and industries play.
ओके, अपार्ट फ्रॉम आर सिलेबस, शायद आप लोगों को मालूम नहीं होगा, बट एज फार एज द टेलीकॉम इंडस्ट्री इज कंसर्न, उसमें बैंडविथ आती है। बैंडविथ मतलब हर्ट्स और वो सब जो
Yes,
टेलीकम्युनि
sir.
या टेलीकम्युनिकेशन में जो यूज होता है, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट आपकी इंटरनेट की स्पीड, वॉइस क्वालिटी एंड ऑल दोस जो है वो उसी के ऊपर डिपेंड रहती है। 2G 3G 4G 5G हम ये सब जो बात कर रहे हैं, तो वो बेसिकली आपकी बैंडविथ कितनी है, कितने मेगाहर्ट्ज की फ्रीक्वेंसी आप अपने कॉलर्स को दे रहे हो, उस हिसाब से वो डिसाइड होती है। तो दिस इज व्हाट इवन आई हर्ड फ्रॉम माय रिसोर्सेज एंड रिलायबल सोर्सेज कि बीएसएनएल के नेटवर्क का काफ़ी बड़ा पोर्शन जो है वो एक टाइम पे रिलायंस यूज़ कर रही थी। लेट मी स्टॉप द